Oh, okay, friends, can you hear me? Okay, loud and clear. Now this is the main event. Actually, this was the whole concept of Nazneen ji, and we are very grateful to Nazneen ji and to Shruti ji for allowing us to do this at short notice. Naseer bhai has read the book, and he was so moved by it that he volunteered and offered to read from it, which is a great honor for us. Applause for him. And so we will proceed with that section of it. The discussion will follow after that. Naseer bhai will now read from the book the part that he liked the most. No, you can. Okay, as you wish, sir. Yes.
Namaskar, good evening. ये कहना कि नहीं, मैं गाना नहीं गाने वाला हूँ कि स्पार्क इन द डार्क पढ़ के मुझे प्रेरणा मिली, ये तो बहुत ही ऑब्वियस बात होगी, दैट आई वाज वेरी इंस्पायर्ड. लेकिन उसके अलावा मुझे बहुत सी सिमिलैरिटीज़ लगी अपनी ज़िंदगी में और प्रोफेसर तुका जाधव की ज़िंदगी में. एज एन एक्टर मुझे ये फ़िक्र रहती थी कि मेरी आवाज़ ख़राब ना हो जाए, और मुझे बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हुए. फिर एक मुझे डॉक्टर साहब मिले जिन्होंने मेरी मदद की, एंड आई फाउंड आउट हाउ टू यूज़ माई वॉइस. तो तुका जाधव के दिल पर क्या गुजरी होगी जब उन्हें पता चला होगा कि मेरी बीनाई जाने वाली है, मैं उसका सिर्फ तसव्वुर कर सकता हूँ. आई कांट रियली बी देयर. और एक नेत्रहीन कैरेक्टर की भूमिका करते वक्त बहुत साल पहले, तकरीबन 45 साल हो गए इस बात को, मेरी पहली बार मुलाकात हुई नेत्रहीन लोगों से, उनके बीच रहने की का तजुर्बा, उनके साथ बात करने की और उनके बारे में मालूम करने का. और मेरा एडमिरेशन वहाँ से बिना नेत्रों वाले लोगों की तरफ बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ा है, और मुझे बेहद इंस्पिरेशन मिला है. ये किताब अंग्रेज़ी में है तो मुझे अंग्रेज़ी में ही पढ़नी पड़ेगी, काश के हिंदी में होती. खैर, लेकिन सबसे पहले मैं नाग साहब एक्सट्रीमली एलोक्वेंट एंड मूविंग प्रेफेस जो है उससे कुछ हिस्से पढ़ना चाहता हूँ, और फिर तुका जी के शब्दों में. अनडॉन्टेड by the catastrophe Tuka experienced in the prime of his youth, he explored new realms of the abstract and surreal, illuminated by his inner vision of insight to blaze a new trail for his art. In his own words, life is a stream of consciousness waiting to be explored. Everything flows from it and into it. Light, colors, tones, and rhythms in endless cycles of the creation and absorption. I resolved to tell this story to all those who cherish the light in the troubled world in which we live. For an artist to lose his sight or a musician to lose his hearing is to experience a creative death. To find his way out of the abyss of darkness is to find renewal and resurrection. In his own words, you have to die to be reborn again, to go through hell to find heaven. In this vast universe of names and forms, our colossal ego is our biggest obstacle. It blocks our inner vision. I lost my eyes, but found a new vision beyond sight. इस जुमले ने मुझ पर बहुत गहरा प्रभाव किया, और शायद हम सबको भी उसी नए विजन की तलाश में रहना चाहिए, which is beyond the senses. स्पार्क इन द डार्क के कुछ अंश मैं आपको पढ़ के सुनाना चाहता हूं. I was born shortly after my parents returned from their annual pilgrimage to Pandharpur. Being pregnant, my mother could not brave the long journey by bullock cart. It was soon after their return that I was born. My father recalled that they had seen the movie Sant Tukaram and visited his shrine at Dehu Alandi. They were so imbued with this saintly spirit that they concluded a saint had arrived at home as well. And so I was named Tukaram after the saint. Later I dropped the Ram. My ability to draw pictures came about the same time as I learnt the alphabet. I used to write ABC in Devanagari in small, neat letters on my slate board. I would leave a broad margin on the right to draw pictures of crows, sparrows, and flowers from my brother's books. Whenever the groceries came, I would rush to pick out a box of matches. मैचेस की जो डिब्बे होते थे उस ज़माने में, उनके ऊपर हमेशा एक तस्वीर होती थी और नॉर्मली वो बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग सी तस्वीर होती थी उस मैच के नाम से, रेड लैंटर्न और फ्लेम और ट्रेन और इस तरह के नाम होते थे उनमें. एंड it had a picture of a bright yellow flame against a red background, which impressed me greatly. It was probably the first picture I ever saw. With it came a fascination for fire. I began playing with the box of matches and started small bonfires outside our house. The flickering flames and curling smoke seemed to have a life of their own. इस तरह की सेंसिटिविटी अगर इंसान में ना हो तो वो आर्टिस्ट नहीं बन सकता. My mother told me that the sun was a ball of fire. It came out of the mouth of the dragon, clouds around it. There were dark and light clouds. They were always fighting over the sun. Whenever the dragons got hungry, they would swallow the sun, causing an eclipse, and the sky would go dark. But when their hunger was satisfied, they would spit it out and the light would return. I was then drawn to steam, mist, fog, and cloud formations. They also seemed to be the products of fire from the sun, which turned them red, yellow, crimson, and golden according to his moods. The moon at night looked like the sun wrapped in icy clouds. The moon kept losing its shape as the same dragons ate it at night for dinner, just as they ate the sun in the daytime for lunch. I began to see the magic and mystery of this transformation of fire and water, and it fascinated me forever. My father would tell me stories, casting his shadow plays on the walls of our hut. He conjured up strange figures of men and beasts in shadow, which were more fascinating than any movie I ever saw. The walls of our hut bore the imprint of my mother's skill as an artist. During the festival season, she turned it into a magic lantern of colors with her rangoli and painting Varli style of pictures. When I first saw the frescoes of Ajanta, they reminded me of my mother's Varli art in Geru color. The Jataka stories recalled my father's shadow play, bringing old myths and legends to life. Every pillar and portal in Ajanta is a living monument to history. All this cast a spell on me. I would stand transfixed and try to imbibe the beauty of form and expression, making sketch after sketch in my art book. One day I took my junior college girls on a study tour. We were making sketches of the portal to cave number 19, and the thought came to me, what am I doing here? Am I just trying to copy and imitate the greatness of others? Am I teaching others to do the same? When will we create our own masterpieces? Ellora locally known as Virul, was even closer to me but no less enthralling. It was created from the roof down to its basement, it is said. The statues, pillars, and temple architecture is monumental in design. Carved out of solid granite hills, it is a marvel of how faith can move mountains and make stones speak. The human figures have an exuberance that go beyond anatomical correctness. Even the animals are depicted with a humanity that creates an aura of wonder. I sought to emulate the living quality of its line and color. It helped my art evolve from the particular to the universal as I went from figurative to abstract. I began to lose my vision in 1998. At first, close objects seemed to recede farther and farther away. One day I put an unfinished painting on my easel and resumed work on it. It was full of vivid colors, but it looked blurred and foggy to me in the center. The edges looked bright and sharp as usual. I consulted my friend Mr. Krishnaswamy, who was the artist director at the hospital. He decided to take me to the best eye doctor, Dr. Badrinath Padma Bhushan. Badrinath said the fogginess was due to an infection caused by the medication I had tried in Bombay. He prescribed some capsules, and when I saw him later, he said the infection had cleared, but he diagnosed my condition as retinopigmentosa. The news came as a catastrophe to me. It was as if a dark abyss had opened its jaws to consume me. Does that mean I won't be able to paint anymore? Shall I have to quit my job as well? I felt like a nocturnal creature forced to live in perpetual darkness. I could no longer do my favorite portraits or even figuratives. The artist within me cried out in anguish. I tried out different techniques and failed. I went through black depression and despair. I spoiled canvas after canvas in a desperate effort to regain my art. But the strange shapes and figures that emerged made no sense to me. Then one day, as I stood sideways to catch the light better, I realized I could see better with my peripheral vision. When I tried painting that way, I was amazed with the result. There were tears of joy in my eyes. It was a moment of revelation or reincarnation. I felt a spark in the dark, like a lonely firefly which sees a flash of response to its own. I resolved to paint with this new insight. In the days to come, my imagination and visual sense returned, and so did my hand-eye coordination. I began to paint with a new confidence and gusto. A new world of the abstract opened its doors to me. Its landscape was surreal and forms richly symbolic. I find a great resonance in this, in my work as an actor as well. When one ventured into the world of abstraction, suddenly the work seemed more universal than personal. And also Tuka's descriptions of the great artists, the great teachers he was lucky enough to meet, who inspired him by their very presence. I have also felt the same. Now this is a section from chapter 10, which is a little bitter. The art world has become more like a cottage industry today. Art galleries have sprung up in every big city, purveying instant art. Their crowded confines look more like gift shops and craft stores. Bombay's bazaar has spawned an art bazaar. Caught in this maelstrom, what can the Indian artist offer to the world in this new global age? Today's art environment recalls the tragic lives of past masters like Vincent van Gogh. that such greatness as his and of the Impressionists could be denied in their own country of origin is worth remembering. If this could happen in progressive and permissive Paris, who are we to complain in India? Let us take heart from the work of our own great masters, like Raja Ravi Verma, Nandlal Bose, Jaimini Roy, and Amrita Shergill, among others. Sorry. With the support of friends, I continued to develop as a poet and painter. The words would come first upon the immediacy of contact, but the painting was more involved as a poetry of abstract forms. My poetry also evolved in the form of word pictures and soundscapes. They moved in harmony, like music, words, and rhythm to which my images resonated. Take rain, for instance. I'm forever fascinated by it. As a painter, it has a visual texture, color, and tone that is always different, never the same. As a poet, it has a sound pattern, a rhythm that keeps changing in force and frequency. It is a creature of many moods, as fickle as any lover. In one of my depressed moods, as I thought fondly of all my friends and acquaintances who have parted company for various reasons, whether death, relocation, or estrangement, I took solace in the fact that my art is still with me, despite all my handicaps and hardship. As I gathered all my paint-soaked tools after another drenching in color, I felt greatly reassured that no matter what, I could always rely on them to sustain me in my creative effort. They were always dependable and never let me down. They shared my joy, sorrow, and triumph with a selflessness that I could never hope to find in the larger community of human beings in civilized society. I sat down at once and wrote a poem with my paint-soaked hands in homage to my friendly brush. In happy colors you create forms, seeking beauty and joy sublime, drenched and dripping in hues, my only friend, the brush. Thank you.
That was very moving and from the heart and really brought the book to life. Thank you very much, sir.
Shah.